acid and base problem are divided into two categories. The first category is the questions that give the concentration of the acid and gas of the proton ion concentration and pH. To solve these questions, first of all, we calculate the proton concentration according to the formula we mentioned in the previous video. And since hydrochloric acid is a strong acid, we consider alpha as a 1, and since it releases 1 proton, N is equal 1. Now the proton concentration is equal to 100, and it is better to write 10 to negative power of 2. So far, we have found the concentration of proton, but to calculate pH, we need to get the negative of its logarithm. Because the base of the logarithm is 10 and our concentration here is 10 to negative power of 2. So its logarithm is equal to negative 2. And since we want the negative of the logarithm, the negative is multiplied by negative and the final answer is positive 2. Okay, let's go to the next question. For this question, we first get the proton concentration, which is equal to 2 times 10 to the negative power of 2. To get the pH, which is equal to the negative of the logarithm of the proton concentration, according to the rules of logarithm, we can separate the numbers that are multiplied together and take a separate logarithm from each of them. Now we see that we want the logarithm of the number 2 plus the logarithm of 10 to the negative power of 2. According to the previous video, I asked you to memorize the logarithm of several numbers. The logarithm of 2 is equal to 0.3, and the logarithm of 10 to the power of negative 2 is negative 2. The sum of these two numbers is negative 1.7, which if multiplied by negative is equal to positive. I want you to solve this question yourself and comment the answer to me. In the case of ammonia, which is a base, we must calculate the hydroxide ion concentration, but the solution method doesn't change. The concentration is equal to the molar product multiplied by the amount of the ion that separates, which for ammonia we must consider 1, and multiply alpha, which is equal to 5 times 10 to the negative power of 4. Because this substance was base and we obtained its hydroxyl ion concentration, its negative logarithm is equal to POH. To calculate, like the previous question, we first take the logarithm of the numbers separately. Now, we calculate the sum of our two logarithms separately. According to the previous video, the logarithm of the number 5 is 0.7, and the logarithm of 10 to the power of negative 4 is also negative 4. The sum of these two numbers is equal to the negative 3.3. If it's multiplied by the negative, the result will be positive. The second category of questions are questions where pH is given and proton concentration is asked. To solve these questions, we first pay attention to the pH number and give it the lowest value needed to turn it into an integer. For example, in the first question, pH is given as 3.7. So it needs 0.3 to turn it into an integer. Now, according to the table that we learned together into the last session, we look at the 0.3 of the logarithm and we find out that the number is 2. As a result, the proton concentration is equal to 10 to the negative power of 4, which is multiplied by 2. 4 is the same integer that we made. For example, for the next question, we need to add 0.8 to make an integer. 0.8 is equal to the logarithm of 6. Now you're able to solve the last question and comment your answer for me. Good luck!